All right, welcome back to the podcast. It's another day, not Friday. Another not Friday.
Another non-Friday, Friday night at the bar.
Oh, what is this on the screen back here, Bryce?
You like that?
It's scary.
Yeah.
You're scaring me.
It's all around us. It's the Delta
Change
variant.
it. Change it. I'm scared.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Shit, it's coming at me.
All right, what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know, man. There's nothing going on, really. World's pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
There's no pandemics anymore. The pandemic has ended in many places. It's now called an endemic.
Endemic implies that it's within a localized area, right?
It implies that it's just here now, and
Yeah.
that's you're gonna have to deal with it in daily life.
Yeah, it's
Some
so
countries have
frustrating.
officially called it.
Really?
Yeah. They're
Wow.
like, fuck it. It's here. We're done. We don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
And Iowa. Good job, Iowa.
in Iowa. At some point, you have to, right? At some point, you got to just fucking move on. Like, it's not
No way,
killing,
man.
It's not killing
No
millions
way,
of
man.
people.
Lock it down.
Man, did you see
Vaccine
Josh Green
passports.
fucking saying that we're headed for another lockdown? Like, he said that I was watching an interview of his the other day, and he said that it's not likely to happen, but the way that things are headed, with cases just not going down, that's the only. In his words, that's the only answer.
That's ridiculous. Which means it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
it's
Just ridiculous that they think that's the only answer. My biggest problem.
It's going to be to push everybody to get the vaccine because Pfizer and whatnot, they need to sell some.
Yeah.
They need to sell some vaccines. So
It just pisses me off that they
don't work.
choose not to. They're only attacking half of the problem.
Yeah.
But
So that's what you said. You said you want to talk about is like what you should actually be doing to get rid to
Right.
minimize your risk of catching the flu.
I was scrolling through my Facebook feed yesterday before I texted you that, and I was, a lot of my people that I'm friends with have a similar mindset to where I'm at on this whole COVID thing. I mean, as you guys know, I did get the first dose of the vaccine, but I still am against it. I got it because if I don't, then I no longer have a job, and I can't afford to do that right now.
Oh, you can't?
No.
You're not almost retired?
Fuck, no.
Independently wealthy?
Yeah, no. So, and I live in one of the most expensive places in the entire world, so.
Yeah. There's that.
Yeah. That's a whole nother podcast. So, I was scrolling through, and there's a lot of people, speaking out against the vaccine, mostly speaking about the mandate of the vaccine. I think I
don't think anybody's against the vaccine
there are some,
per se. Like,
but
hey,
most people, most people are like, I just want to be able to choose. I just want to be able to, like, you know what? If I don't feel like it's right for me, then I don't want it.
I don't think anybody's like, oh my God, you got the vaccine. Don't talk to me anymore.
No.
That it's your choice. That's what.
And the funny thing is,
what people
on the
understand.
flip side, people that get the vaccine are like, ew, if you're not vaccinated, don't talk to me.
Right.
Like that, it's crazy how it works that way, right? Like people that don't have the vaccine who are supposed to be more at risk,
right,
are the ones that are like, yo, if you got the vaccine, I don't care. Like it's cool. Like
even though you're walking around without a fucking helmet on anymore.
But the people that got the vaccine and are supposed to be less at risk are the ones that are like, oh, get away from me. I don't want to be around you. We might spread.
That's because their vaccine doesn't work, and they're going to catch it anyway, and they don't want to get it.
Yeah. Well, so
even though they're the ones that are probably passing it more than anybody now.
Yeah. Okay. So back to my story.
Anyway,
or back to my train of thought. Though. Most of the people felt the similar way. However, there weren't a whole lot of people talking about what else you can do, right? Like there's not a whole lot of people offering other solutions, and
there's plenty of people offering it. It's just that YouTube and and the powers that be are shutting it off.
Yeah,
they're taking stuff like that down.
So specifically within my Facebook feed, like I'm not seeing anything, and all I could think of is, well, this is what people see, right? They see what's in their Facebook feed, what's in their Instagram 100%. Feed. The only kind of people that are going to go and search it out are people like you and I.
That's why censorship is a problem.
Yeah. So, I learned along long time ago. My dad beat it into me that don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution, right? So if you have nothing to offer, you can't complain about something unless you have an offer to fix it or something to replace it, right? So I thought a lot about some things that we can do to in place or in addition actually to a vaccine, because the vaccine is going to minimize or is going to reduce your chances of getting it and reduces your chances of having severe symptoms.
It's a good treatment.
Yeah, but it's not the only treatment, and it's not the only way that you can go about.
And it's not 100%. So let's say I have my vaccine, and I'm like, oh, stay away from me. You're unvaccinated. Okay, why am I afraid of you? I have the vaccine. Oh, I know why. Because I'm probably not that healthy, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
If you have anything, and you don't even talk about COVID. So what do you do to not catch the flu, not catch a cold, not catch heart disease, not catch diabetes?
People don't know. That's the problem.
People don't know, and that's the problem. And your doctors won't tell you, and especially right now, they ain't gonna tell you shit because they're not even allowed to.
Right.
If it's to do with COVID stuff, but just in general, chronic disease, right? What's Glassman say? We could cure 80 to 90% of chronic disease just by exercise and diet, right? So what are ways to really? We're just looking at what are ways to boost your immune system, because look at people that have really good immune systems. They're not going to catch the flu.
Right.
Okay. They can be around people that have it, and their body fights it off right when it gets in them. Children. This is why children are immune to all sorts of shit. Their immune system is boosted to the max because they're outside rolling around. Yeah. I've seen kids eat dirt. They stick everything in their mouth.
But not anymore.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays,
they stick their hands in the dirt, stick their finger up their nose, and then they eat the booger.
Yeah.
They all do it.
Yeah.
They all do it. And this is why children's immune systems are way better than adults. This is why your kid goes to school and they bring home something that you get sick with when they didn't get sick with it. They might have had a little sniffle, whatever it is. But it's because their immune system is... And it has nothing to do with age, right? Everybody likes to...
No.
The ageism, right? Oh, you're too old to do this. You're too old to do that. Oh, it's just because you're... Wait till you get a little older. That's bullshit. That's lack of exposure is what causes that, and lack of activity, right? So children have high activity. They have high exposure. Just them going to school. They're around more people.
Yeah.
They're being exposed to everything. So... they don't catch any of it because their immune system is on fucking full detail, right? Where ours, we're like, oh, you haven't left your fucking living room in 8 weeks and you're eating fucking Doritos. Your immune system's not in contact with anything,
right?
Besides shitty ass food. Your immune system's shutting down. Then when you go outside, like that's the biggest thing, like with lockdowns and stuff, you're locking people in buildings for 8 months, and now they're going to go outside. The fucking common cold is going to kill them.
Yeah.
Little things that never would have bothered them before, it's going to put them on their ass. And then when you're on your ass from something simple, you're now immunocompromised. And now you get something serious like COVID, and you catch a little tiny whiff of it, and you're fucking in the hospital. And this is what happens to, that's that comorbidity thing. A comorbidity doesn't have to be, like me, I have asthma. That doesn't have to be, you don't have to have something like that. You don't have to have diabetes or heart disease as a comorbidity. It could be you ran a fucking marathon yesterday. Guess what? For the next 3 days, you have a comorbidity because your comorbidity is immunocompromised, right? And so you're susceptible to all sorts of other stuff. So how do we boost our immune system is what we should be looking at.
Yeah,
what
definitely.
Steps and
I think we've talked about it multiple times over the course of multiple podcasts, like just how different things would be if instead of mandating people staying inside, that we mandated everybody go outside for 10, 15 minutes a day, right?
There you go. Number one.
So I think that's
go outside.
I think that's one of the biggest things we could do.
Easiest.
Yeah, it would be easy because especially here in Hawaii, where we don't really have to deal with a whole lot of weather considerations,
and we have sun, lots of sun
and whatnot. Right, there's plenty of studies that show exposure to sunlight helps fight off COVID.
If you don't think going outside for 15-30 minutes a day is huge, you're living under a fucking rock.
I mean, literally.
And you're literally living under a rock, and you have to see the benefits of sun. It's everything. Get rid of it, and everything dies.
I mean, everybody talks about vitamin D, but there's other.
So outside, so going outside for 15. Let's say even. I throw this in with exercise, right? That's what my thing was right. if everybody went outside and walked for 30 minutes a day instead of being trapped in your house, the rest of the time be in your house. But 30 minutes a day of just walking outside in the sun, in the fresh air, that gives you two things: a little bit of exercise. Vitamin D. Like, it's free. That's why this is the easiest possible thing. It costs nothing. You don't have to buy a vitamin. Like, vitamin D is super cheap anyway if you don't want to go outside.
But why spend the money when you can just you don't even have to like go anywhere. You could sit on your fucking porch and let the sun just.
But it is absolutely exactly. You don't have to even walk. Yeah. It's free. And it's the number one thing that they found most something like 80% of all deaths last year of the COVID, like 80% of them were vitamin D deficient.
Wow.
And this is the reason.
It makes sense because what happens. So they locked everything down, right? You stay inside, and then you go out to get groceries or something, and you pick it up, or somebody brings it to you, right? Somebody brings the virus to you.
Yeah.
You go straight from being in your house for 8 months to a hospital where there's no sunlight. So, where would you be getting vitamin D from?
So vitamin D, this is in the beginning. So this is even before any lockdown.
Okay.
8 months of lockdown and not getting sun. People in general don't get enough vitamin D. One of the things we tell people here, when we do our diet talks or whatever, is that everybody should be supplementing a few things. One of them is vitamin D, and that's because even in Hawaii, what do you do when you go outside? Clothes, right?
Usually sunscreen.
Clothes are going to block it. If you don't have your clothes on, most people wear sunscreen. I do not wear sunscreen. And then the other thing is the most easiest way to absorb vitamin D is through your eyes, and we all wear sunglasses. I absolutely wear sunglasses.
Yeah, 100%.
But the amount of actual sun exposure for most people is nothing, right? And so, and our bodies have, and then some people are, have a more or less ability to absorb it anyway.
Right.
The darker your skin, the less ability to absorb it. So this is why, like in New York City, the amount of vitamin D deficiency in colored people is through the roof. Because New York City, you don't get any sun ever. You could try, but most of the time you're in a shadow of something.
Yeah.
And these are people who, through evolution, have evolved to be near the equator with lots of sun on them. So they don't absorb as much as a defense from the sun. And now they're not getting any because they have moved away from the sun or the equator, right? So now those levels are super low, and that's and I mention that because that's one of the early news things that they came up with before they started.
And I'm sure not too many people know about
before they started blocking stuff about vitamin D.
So how do we?
1,000 to 4,000 international units, but like any of your vitamins, you should actually get a blood test, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's not a big deal. But before you go like dumping, a shit ton of this or that, you should know exactly.
Yeah, just ask your doctor for a diagnostic test.
So you get kind of an idea.
And then that way you know where you are on all kinds of different things.
But even if you don't want to do that, you could take a multivitamin that has, multivitamin. One-a-day multivitamins aren't ever going to be into, you're not going to get any overdose of anything.
Of course not.
So, but 1,000 to 4,000 international units on vitamin D. That's the number one supplement for your immune system. Number one.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it there. But okay, so we talked about one thing, right, as far as going outside. So now I want to ask the question, I want to pose, how do we how do we get people to do it, right? Like, how do we?
So now we're talking about the exercise aspect.
Yeah.
of it?
So how do we get people? How do we get people to go outside, right? Like,
Okay.
what do we do? What do we say to get people? So say we somehow convince the government to mandate that you go outside for
Right
30
here.
seconds every day.
This is the secret. Frisbees.
Frisbees.
We send everyone frisbees.
Well, then that would spread COVID because everybody's touching it.
Whatever, man. I'm not that smart.
No, so my question is, like, somehow we convince the government to mandate everybody
Frisbees.
needs to go outside and exercise or just walk for 30 minutes a day, right? How do we I don't want to say enforce that because that's not the kind of term that I want, but how do we get people to do it?
They gotta want to do it. Like, to me, if you're afraid of catching COVID from somebody that's unvaccinated, you need to make steps on you're putting it on someone else, right? You're putting it on someone else to keep you healthy. Take responsibility.
Okay.
Take responsibility for your own health. I mean, go outside and do it. There's unless you're going to tell people to do it or make people do it, they have to take it upon themselves and understand it's more education that.
Right.
The problem is no one's saying, hey, if you do this, right? That's
It'll
the problem.
help,
The
right.
problem is no one's going and saying this, and even people that say it, they're getting censored, right? So
right, like Andrew Tupola.
People have to understand that and believe that, exercise does help. And I don't think there's a doctor in the world that would say, no, man, don't go outside for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You're gonna put yourself into a different category of comorbidities. There's zero chance. Zero.
Okay.
So
we'd have to somehow get it past mainstream media and get people to see it, and then some thoughts that I had on how to get people to do it is we create like some kind of
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, something similar, like some kind of app to track steps.
Yeah.
And create some kind of competition, because usually people respond. If you're not the kind of person to want to do it just for yourself, right? Just like something doesn't trigger you, like, oh, I should do this.
Oh, I got it. Some sort of a Instagram, Facebook campaign of a hashtag, and you got to take a picture of yourself.
Right.
Like,
yeah, so something where we can
a 30-day challenge, one of those 30-day challenge for Afghanistan. Go get 30 minutes of sun a day. Take your turban off. Fuck yeah. Hashtag lose the turban.
Oh my god.
Hashtag lose the turban. Lose the Taliban.
Now we're gonna get censored because you just said it.
So something like that. That would work.
No, I think that would work for a lot of people.
They have all those push-up challenges. They have the 30 for 30s. They have the whatever that is. You create some sort of a push there, and you get a couple. Because let's face it, media is useless and government is useless. So you need social media. You need a high-level influencer. We need Kardashians to be like hashtag lose the turban, lose the Taliban, right? Then we're in. Then it's happening, right? 30 minutes
straight
outside.
To the Kardashians.
Yeah, no, you go to the top. The top
to the top. Kardashians run the world.
But yeah, for real, you get get social media influencers to start it on social media. That's where everybody gets their news anyway. So you can do that. Yeah, there you go. There's your exercise thing.
I like that. I like that idea. We get.
And as far as exercise, like if you could do 30 minutes, even if it's not outside, 30 minutes of exercise a day, right? Get your heart rate up to
maybe you're in fucking Canada or something and you're in the middle of a snowstorm.
And that's fine. Just go shovel snow.
Yeah. Or just inside do some burpees.
But yeah, burpees, great one,
7
right?
7 minutes of burpees.
Do like 30 minutes a day. Get your heart rate elevated. Get it up into the 75-80% of your.
Everybody's got an Apple Watch nowadays or smartwatch. Just track your heart rate on that.
Get it up into the top 25% of your max heart rate. If you don't know what that is, that's 220 minus your age. Yeah, is your max. That's an average, obviously.
General rule of thumb.
But if you get up into somewhere around there, 75% of that, and keep it up there for like 15 minutes, you're gonna lose some weight. You're gonna get fit. Like that's how you get fit. Now, don't think 30 minutes of weightlifting a day is going to help you. It's not, because, and I'm talking about weightlifting where you do a, set of 5 to 10, take 4 minutes, do another set of 5 to 10 and 30.
It's all about the heart rate, right?
You gotta elevate it and keep it up there. We're talking about more like cardio type workouts. That's going to help you more than a weightlifting style workout's not going to help you as much. So anyway.
Okay, so we got so far we
got outside, and we got some vitamin D, outside, and we got some exercise.
We're getting vitamin
D.
What's
next?
We're getting out. So in my opinion, something that really pisses me off.
Oh boy, here we go.
When I'm looking at the local news and the local media and the governor and the lieutenant governor, and they're talking about why our cases are going up, right?
Yep.
They continue to blame it on local people.
Okay.
And I work on the west side where I see plenty of people disregarding social distancing and masks and whatnot. And so I'm not here to say that local people are innocent, but the fact that the governor and the lieutenant governor are placing the sole blame of an increase of cases on the local population just pisses me off. Because how can you say that the hundreds of thousands of tourists arriving every fucking day do not contribute at all?
There's 0% chance that they're not the cause of the surge.
Right. So
0.
I'm not saying that locals are innocent. I'm not saying that the tourists are the sole reason.
Yeah, but here's the difference. The local people have to go out.
Right. Okay.
And live their fucking life. The tourists don't need to be here. They're on vacation. Go
something
home.
that I want to. I don't know how I would go about doing it, but maybe I could commission somebody or get the government to figure it out. Is do a case study, break down all the positives. Right. Take the COVID positives for the day, and break them down into occupation.
Yeah.
Do it by occupation, and
that
then
would be good.
And then you tell me.
Where they're coming from.
Yeah. Because
they're coming from.
Because if you break it down,
the local people that
have to go and service these tourists.
The biggest thing on this island is tourism service.
The tourism industry, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
If you break down these COVID positive cases, I don't know. I haven't seen a study done on it. I don't know how to go about doing it myself. But I guarantee that if you broke down COVID positive cases in Hawaii by occupation, you would find a large proportion. A large proportion of them are coming from the people are working in the service industry.
Well, I mean, this is
in some capacity,
but that's guaranteed because the service industry is bigger than all other industries here.
It is, but
but the ratio will be bigger. I got you.
It leads into my next point of we have to do something about the tourists. Because I personally think that if you continue to let tourists in the way that you are, you're not stopping the bleed. Okay, no. They made the policy that you could come to Hawaii if you're vaccinated, right? But how many times do we have to say that just because you're vaccinated doesn't mean you can't transmit the disease? Yeah, right. The government themselves have said that. Right. So it's not like that's not conspiracy. So. I did some research actually, and I looked at when did that policy start? When did it change from having to have a negative COVID test to being able to come if you're vaccinated? Yep. When did that change? And when did the uptick in cases start to increase? And you want to know the time difference? What? 12 days.
12 days.
12 days from the time that. The day that they
till the surge.
Yeah, so the day that they, and not necessarily the big surge, but the day that they allowed people to start coming here with just vaccinations, just being able to upload your vaccination card, to the day that we had our first triple digit case day. Yeah. Over 100 cases in one day was 12 days. And that is sense. The incubation period of COVID. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 10 to 14 days of incubation for COVID. So
so they came here with a case and
right. And then as more people came,
it's just skyrocketing.
Absolutely. So I don't know how how you can.
And these are probably asymptomatic cases.
Oh, of course, they are because they're vaccinated, right?
So they're cruising around all day.
Yeah,
passing it to a bunch of people.
They're asymptomatic cases, which I get.
They mentioned that the was it the R naught of this new strand is so much higher. It's like is it 9 people or 5 people? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's at least 2 or 3 times than the original COVID. Or is it? Right. Or is the problem that you just have people are coming into more contact with people than they were before because now the people that are spreading it, who may be the vaccinated, they're spreading it because they don't even know they have it because they're asymptomatic. They're walking around spreading it. They're just coming in contact with more people without masks, without distancing because they think they're safe or whatever the case may be, and that's huge.
No, I agree.
Does it really have a different value, or is this just the same shit but now, different habits of people?
The societal reaction to it is different now.
Yeah.
So I think, in my personal opinion, the way we combat this, because, like I said, if you do that,
shoot all tourists.
Yeah.
On site.
Bring back Kill Holiday.
Yeah. Was that a thing? Bring back?
You don't know what that is?
No, what is that?
Okay, so back in the day, there's this thing called Kill Holiday.
Okay.
And it's still to this day, there's no like evidence saying it was real or not, but
it's like the Purge. Hawaiian
similar,
Purge.
like so on a specific day, people would just start beating up holidays.
Nice.
Yeah, like just the locals would just start beating up holidays, and then they would just call it Kill Holiday.
I feel the aloha.
So this happened, I think it was in like the 80s, like the 70s or 80s, like around when the Dahui got big again.
Yeah.
They used to be big, and then they kind of fell off, and then they came back. So it was a real thing, yes.
Wow, that's something else. All right, so we got to limit tourism.
All right, so it's not necessarily get rid of tourism. That's not my answer. Because
the real problem is that right now to fly here is a couple $100.
It's a couple $100,
and which is the cheapest it's ever been since like the 1970s or 80s. And
exactly.
It's.
I was looking online the other day.
People weren't going on vacation.
Flights from here to Florida are $500.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yep.
To fly from literally one edge of the country to the other.
Yeah.
4,000 miles.
That's insane.
Is $500.
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling to think. Okay. All right. So my answer. Okay.
And that's the problem. That's why so many people are coming here. It's just cheaper.
Okay. So we go back to we get rid of vaccination passports.
Oh, fuck yeah, that's ridiculous.
We get rid of the ability to just upload your vaccination card and come to Hawaii. If you want to come to Hawaii, provide a negative test.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Because a negative test
that only makes sense.
Tells me that at least with up to 3 days ago, you did not have COVID.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So you probably caught it in the airport.
So maybe,
somebody going somewhere else.
If we get enough of those, if we get enough of people, then the airports will be safe.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because it's a bubble.
Yeah.
A bubble of people that have all tested negative.
Yep.
Okay. So we revert back to only being able to come to Hawaii if you have a negative COVID test.
Okay.
And then we to offset the amount of people that we will lose, we somehow figure out a way to raise flight prices or some kind of prices to get here.
Right.
And then that extra money, I mean, as much as I really don't want to say it, is going to go to the state I don't know, maybe make a COVID fund. Make a COVID fund that we use to subsidize businesses or provide unemployment or whatever.
Yeah, but even that, like right now, there's more people coming here than there ever has been.
Exactly.
Because it's so cheap. Just bring it to normal levels and get the numbers.
That are stabilized.
It's supply and
numbers.
demand.
Yeah.
If you make it a certain amount to fly here, you're going to get less people. You don't need, it's $300,000 a month or something like that right now?
Absurd, yes.
Yeah. Where normally it's like 180 or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm literally making numbers up right now.
No. It is because we get about 1 million visitors a year.
Yeah. So cut it back down or raise those rates and if the airlines don't want to fucking do it,
tax it.
Make it to stay here.
Yeah.
You know, granted, you still get lots of people staying with relatives, but that's fine. But that would help. Like raise the rate of something.
Well, you just
supply and demand. Here's the thing. cut the supply of the amount of people we want here. If you cut it down to 180,000 people, you raise the price up till you're down to those 180,000 people.
Yeah. Well, if we're able to, maybe we figure out a way to just put a cap on how many people, because if we put a cap on how many people can come,
put a cap on how many people,
the airlines and the hotels will already they'll put their rates up themselves. We won't even have to worry about that.
Put a cap, definitely.
So if we can put a cap of 150 tourists a month, right? Which I don't think is an impossible task to do, because all you have to do is just limit the amount of flights that can come in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And which we have control over the airport, right? The government has control over the airport. So you just limit the amount of flights that can come.
Right? Yeah. Again, it's limit the seats on an airplane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're doing that anyway. They're
some aren't.
We've had people come here in the last couple of weeks. We've had like everybody's getting their flight canceled, and they're coming on a different flight because they're only flying when there's a full plane.
Right.
So the airlines are limiting their flights to maximize their dollars because they're not charging enough to come here, so they have to fill the plane to make it worth their while to fly. Yeah. So they're already limiting their flights by themselves. So you just help with that. Yeah. I don't know. It makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's how we get rid of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So we took care of the exercise, right? Getting people outdoors, getting vitamin D, getting them exercise. Yep. We're cutting down exposure, right? Because we're trying to prevent outside sources of coronavirus as much as possible.
Sure.
Because according to the governor and the lieutenant governor, all the COVID is coming from in the state, which is fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I really wish somebody would do that study. I would try and do it, but I have no idea how to even go about doing that.
No, you need.
I'm not even. I'm gonna ask my dad, because my dad does that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But.
So what else? So then you have.
So the last thing for me is. I came up with 3 things: the exercise thing, this tourist problem, and then division. I think the division in the community is so bad right now that it contributes to just a shitty society. So I think the first 2 things will help with that, but then we have to prevent at all costs this goddamn vaccine card or health passport or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
This fucking having to have your vaccine to go get groceries and shit.
Here's the thing. This will be the ultimate divider.
Yeah.
This will divide the country more than Republican, Democrat, because I don't give a fuck if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I don't care. I'm neither.
If you're on one of them, you're stupid, but that's up to you. You can be stupid. I'll still be your friend. But if you're pro-vaccine passport and I am anti-vaccine passport, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
You go fuck yourself. Like you
That's too far.
You don't understand like freedom. You don't understand like rights and staying the fuck out of other people's business. Yeah. And it's funny because most of this comes from the left, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, they're like, oh, my body, my choice. How the fuck can you believe in both of these things?
That's why I'm not like I have more.
I just don't understand it.
I lean more towards the left, but I do not identify myself as a leftist or Republican.
I don't put myself on any team because both the team aspect is stupid.
Because then you're locked into.
This isn't the fucking Red Sox versus the Yankees.
You're required to
correct thinking
everything.
and incorrect thinking, and that doesn't mean 100% in either direction.
Right. Again, you can have your opinion, but it doesn't mean your opinion is right.
And you shouldn't be locked into someone else's opinion, which is what you are when you pick a team. When you pick a side, you're locked into all the opinions on that side. So, absolutely, the vaccine passport thing happens. This country will fall apart more than anything, and that's kind of what they want. So the government, they don't.
Yeah, which goes back to our last.
They want to just keep us fighting each other and
keep the focus off of whatever they're doing.
And it's also super convenient that it's gonna block. It's going to take up all the media of the fact that our president is fucking useless and has just left thousands of Americans to die in Afghanistan, which will start in a couple weeks. They'll start killing them. So
not even that. It's going to be sooner than that.
Well, they're going to wait till till everybody's out of there. And then they're going to go door to door. They're already going door to door with some stuff. So, but that's absolutely, trust me, the fucking Taliban's not there and is like, oh, we just want to govern. Yeah, they might say that now. They're going to govern
we just want you to wear your
based
mask.
on Sharia law, and women are fucked, and anyone with any other ideology is fucked.
I saw it on the news this morning when I was at the station. The leader or the spokesperson for the Taliban gave a public press conference for the first time, and he said, "Oh, we're not, women can have certain freedom, like
based our law."
Yeah. So they said the exact words that the news people said was, "Women are allowed to are allowed freedom under certain conditions."
He said we will work towards women's rights based on our laws. Yeah. Their laws are fucking retarded. So I don't care how much they're going to work on. So that's cool. So ladies, as long as you don't show your hair, we won't fucking beat you to death. Yeah. As long as you don't, speak up, we won't beat you to death. That's cool. But that's their law. So just because somebody's like, they're going to do exactly what he says. Yeah. They're going to hold them to their laws, and their laws are fucking batshit crazy. And so this vaccine passport thing is going to keep the media busy with that, and all the fucking uprising that's going to come from that will more than stop the calls for, something to happen in Afghanistan or fucking, do an investigation as why the fuck we did this.
Well, and not only why, but how.
And how.
How the fuck we pulled out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, we pulled out with no plan.
Right.
There was no plan. Biden was just like, all right, get the fuck out. And
it's get the fuck out. Leave all the shit here.
Leave all
and
our
go.
Shit behind. What do you
something's
mean?
there, so that there needs to be an investigation, and they're going to use this shit to kind of push that investigation down the road 6 months before it starts, when you can't investigate. Right. Because the Taliban ain't going to let you in there. Yep. And everybody else is going to burn everything they can. Yeah, it's bullshit. Anyway, back to this thing. So vaccine passport cannot happen.
Well, the main thing is how do we bridge the divide?
The problem is that the people have picked their teams, right? And this team ideology, which has been pushed on us for the last forever, this Democrat Republican bullshit, especially through the last election. Yeah. This ideology has been pushed on everybody, and it's like people can't get their heads out of their ass to get off of it and take a look at like what vaccine passports would actually mean for people, right? And especially like for people that can't get the vaccine, like I think it's in Australia. Like they're now under martial law in Australia. Yeah, they've had 9 COVID deaths in 18 months. They're in martial law, and they're like, you have to have the vaccine. If you don't have the vaccine, you don't leave your house. Yeah, you don't go to the store. You don't do anything. Like that's. I think it's there that's happening. It's happening somewhere, and it's like that's not fair. This isn't fucking. You get if you don't have the vaccine, you don't have rights to live as a fucking human. And if you think that should be the way, dude, you go somewhere to fuck else, man. Like go fucking jump off a bridge. You're useless. Look at the Raiders today announced that only vaxxed people can now go to Raiders games. So you're already starting to see you only have rights if you're vaccinated. So now everybody that's not vaccinated is a second-class citizen. This is bullshit. New York City, you can't go out to eat. You can't do stuff. Oh, you're not vaccinated. You don't get to come in here. Okay, so eventually we go to the point where you can't go to the store and buy food.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's already in the works in LA.
You have to order it. Like, fuck you, man.
So you're telling me, like that's like,
guess what? Instead of if they do that, instead of fucking ordering it and having it delivered to my house, I'm going to come to your house with a gun and steal it from you. Fuck you. I will find your vaccine passport. I will take that as well, and then you'll be stuck on your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where we're. And if you don't think that's where we're going with this, trust me, motherfuckers, that's where we're going with it. And I'll be right in line with that shit.
What's the difference between saying, "Hey, you can't come to the store and buy your food, you got to order it," and "Hey, you can't sit in the front of the bus, you got to sit in the back"?
Yeah, exactly. What's the difference between, "Hey, you're black, you have no rights," and, "Hey, you're unvaxxed and you have no rights"? There
isn't much.
And once again,
that's
who's pushing it? The fucking Democrats, right? Like, it's like, how are you? That side is, they're just so fucking back asswards with their thinkings. Yeah. I just don't understand it. It's like, I could see the conservatives being for vaccine passports, right? They're not necessarily about right to choose and rights to, do whatnot. And it's like, the Democrats are supposed to be about that, and it's the opposite way around. It's fucking weird. It's so weird. The whole thing is just mind-bogglingly stupid. But anyway, so yeah, that's got to stop.
Yeah,
and hopefully just smarter heads prevail. But unfortunately, I think we're in a shit state that is run by other states, because we just kind of go by what California does and whatnot.
The problem is that we live in a society now that doesn't allow for better heads to prevail.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's true for most states. I mean, we have guys like Rob DeSantis.
Why? Because you're stuck with your fucking team.
Yeah.
Ige can't be like, "Oh no, we're not going to be for this. We're going to open up." He can't be a DeSantis because he's on the wrong team.
Right.
Maybe he wants to be a DeSantis. He clearly doesn't want to be anybody, because
he
doesn't
want anything to do
no
with
decisions with this. He's just like, "Oh, this is what they're doing. This is what we'll do."
I think that we should do this because these people did this.
And then we did that, and then everybody else stopped doing it, and he's like, "No, we just keep doing it." Yeah. Like, he's a non-decision maker, and he's just going to go with the party line and then be last to fucking change. And it's like, you've already got some places that are going to come up with this vaccine passport, and dude, Hawaii's going to fucking do it. 100%. That'll keep people out of here.
I don't know.
That'll cut tourism down, and it'll cut people.
300,000 people a month are coming with vaccination
it's still ridiculous.
cards.
Yeah, no, it's
so
true.
They already to them. I mean, what's the difference? They just show
absolutely.
your card,
But yeah, that's a problem. That's definitely a problem. I don't know how that's going to go, but we're going to find out. I think in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I think in the next 2 months we find out all about.
Those are
the
three things. Those are the three things that I think are the three keys to fixing this COVID problem. And then my final thought on this subject is: At what point do I get out?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like, at what point?
I've already looked up how to move to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about out of the country, but I mean, just out of here, because I'm already without COVID. Like, if you took COVID and everything to do with COVID out of the equation, it's already ridiculously hard to live here.
Yeah.
It's already ridiculously expensive and super hard to live here. So now you're adding all of this stress and all of this bullshit with COVID.
Yeah.
At what point do I leave?
Move to fucking Texas.
And for me, the answer is passports.
Absolutely.
If that happens, I'm out.
I actually was thinking about that too, and definitely a conversation I have to have with Tommy. And because she's now has to go test every week unless she gets her vaccine, which is now she is a pre-existing condition of she's on something that lowers her immunity. So something that they said, do not get the vaccine if you have this, or if you're on this. She is on it. So you know what they said this week?
What?
Oh, well, then you need 3 doses.
What? How does that make any sense?
So it went from do not get this, you are exempt from getting this, you shouldn't get it,
to you need more of it.
You need more of it. It's because Pfizer, I know it was like two weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago now, they came out and they said, "Oh, we have a surplus of vaccines because we're running out of people that want it."
Yeah.
Okay. So what is Pfizer doing? All of a sudden we see this.
We need a third vaccine for immunocompromised.
All these bullshit Delta variant numbers going up with people that are vaccinated. Of course they're going up because Pfizer wants you to get a fucking booster.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what's happening, you're fools. The prescription industry, what is it called?
Big Pharma.
Big Pharma, thank you, has run this fucking country.
Yeah. 100%.
It's something like 65% of all advertisements on TV are fucking pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Like they run this country. They are fucking milking it. And that is why we don't talk about exercise.
Yeah.
We don't talk about going outside because their numbers go down. So, and that's where, to me, that's the biggest change. Like that exercise thing, the going outside, the immune system support. So other things you could do. Now I want to give this is something you should do for your immune system, right? This is not new shit. Vitamin D is number one. Zinc. Take zinc. Here's a fun one. Take ZMA, zinc magnesium aspartate. Yep. You will sleep better. No one sleeps enough, right? And sleep is huge. That's when you repair, right? If you do get sick, that's why you end up sleeping all the time. Your body's trying to repair it. So let's say, what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger quote? Don't
get to the job.
What does he say? Don't work less, sleep faster, or some shit like that. But basically, he's saying, he's in the mindset of, don't sleep, do work to get where you want to go, right?
Yeah.
Success is a success quote, right? But the funny thing is he says sleep faster. So ZMA will let you sleep faster. So instead of waiting, your body
needing 8 hours
has so many hours before it goes into REM sleep, to deep sleep, and all the different stages, and you need a certain number of all those stages. Most of us are stuck in light sleep due to light pollution, looking at our phones, caffeine, watching TV before bed, doing dumb shit, right? Being up with artificial light after the sun goes down. All these things make it so that we're in a light sleep mode longer, and that's why we need more and more sleep, right? So sleep faster. ZMA puts you into deeper sleep faster.
Right.
And so when you wake up after 6 hours, when normally you're maybe getting 8 and you feel like shit, you're going to wake up in 6 hours and you feel like you got 10 hours. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big one, zinc. So take ZMA. That's the best way to do it. And that's just like 3 little tablets at night. It's awesome. 2 for women. And then just and also zinc is a like zinc lozenges, right?
Yeah,
that's a good one for it's a antimicrobial. Yeah. So if you do breathe something in, it has a good effect on killing it. I think I have zinc and elderberry lozenges from Target.
Delicious.
And the elderberry also has some sort of
it's antioxidants, right? Elderberry
properties. I'm not sure, but it's on the list of like top things to do for your immune system. The other ones are the other vitamins. So we already talked about C. Or I mean D. Go outside. C is huge. If you're ever sick, and what do? You drink fucking ton of orange juice. When I get sick, I go to the store. I buy a gallon of orange juice, and I try to drink that in a day. I'm not orange. Yeah, orange juice.
Or apple.
Yeah, apple too. That's usually like 20,000 times the daily recommended, and you're gonna shit your brains out. But guess what? It's probably gonna help you get over what you have. So vitamin C definitely is huge, and that's something like 2,000 milligrams, up to 2,000 milligrams a day in pill form. The only thing with pill form, if you take too much of it, hurts your stomach a lot. But yeah, it makes you shit your brains out too. I've taken like 8 of them in a day with those big horse pill ones, and it's a fun one, but it gets rid of a lot of stuff. And added side effect of shitting your brains out from vitamin C, you lose like 5 pounds, like instantly of shit weight.
A lot of weight.
What's the other vitamins? Vitamin A. So vitamin A is one of those ones where you don't want to take too much because you can overdose in vitamin A. That's where you want to get that blood test. But definitely, most people are low on vitamin A. So definitely check that. And then
it helps with energy.
And then vitamin B, vitamin A is a vitamin A shouldn't actually be called a vitamin. It should be called a hormone because it's a super powerful hormone, much like testosterone, insulin, all those things. It's like I don't know what they call it, the 4th hormone or something like that. Estrogen's the other one. So vitamin A is an awesome hormone that you can pound down. But that's why you have to get it tested too.
So you don't
And then the last one's vitamin B. So A, B, C, D. There's a reason they're in there. You know what I mean? A, B, C, D. You can even throw K2 with the
K2.
You get the K2 with the vitamin D. Those pills. That's actually what I just ordered yesterday. But vitamin B, that's the. It's in all of these energy drinks. Bang, 5-hour energies. The ones that say, "Oh, it gives you the energy without the jitter." If you look at the vitamin B content, that's what they're dumping in there. Vitamin B12. Let's see.
I'm gonna guess.
So here we have two of the most popular. We got Rain, vitamin B. No, this doesn't have that much actually. It's got 100% of your
daily serving.
Your niacin, B6, B12. Niacin is B3, by the way. So that has all three of those vitamin Bs.
But it's 100% of your daily serving.
It's 100% in one can. Yeah, exactly. And that's why it gives you that boost. I
know people that are drinking multiple of these a day.
Yeah. Bang has 60% in one. So not quite as much. 30%. And where's niacin? 30%. So they don't. So if I was going to get one, I'd get Rain. And
what Red Bull has.
Yeah, a shit ton.
We'll look it up.
But that's the thing. So vitamin B is huge. It's in all energy drinks, and it doesn't give you the jitters. I have the liquid shit. I take a couple droppers a day, and it just gives you extra energy for fucking. There's no bad downside.
Oh, shit.
And here's the thing. All of
I
these.
got you on Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Red Bull.
12-ounce Red Bull offers 360%
there you go.
of the RDA for vitamin B6, 120% of B12, 140% of niacin.
Yeah, and that's why the motherfucker gives you wings.
Yeah.
For real. Woo! And it has 2 cups of coffee, 3 cups of coffee as well, which won't give you the jitters. That's why I like Red Bull. I drink Red Bull if I'm going to drink one of those, and I always feel fine with it. That's also why when you're out at the club, don't fucking drink Red Bull and vodka. Yeah, your ass is going to go all night long. You ain't going to fall asleep. So here's the thing with
that's why I shouldn't do Jaeger bombs anymore.
So vitamin A, B, C, D, and zinc or ZMA, they're so goddamn cheap. You could probably do a month of all of those for probably less than $30. So I just bought vitamin D with K2. A year supply was like $20. Wow. Which is ridiculous, right? So you can easily get all of those in for super cheap. I know ZMA is like $14 for a couple months, and that's got 3 magnesium, which a lot of people are low on magnesium too. Magnesium. So those are huge. Those was that 5 things. The other thing is sleep. That's the one that sleep and stress, right? The more you're stressed, the less you sleep. The less you sleep, the more you're stressed. The more you're stressed, the more sleep you need. If you get sick, you need more sleep. Right. You need sleep. Make sure you do stuff about that. Like, I always found it crazy that people spend thousands of dollars on shit that they don't spend a third of their life in. Right. You spend a third of your life in bed, and people are sleeping on 20-year-old fucking mattresses.
That's why, when people, me and Kristen, we bought a new mattress when we moved in together, and she was in the school of thought that, let's just buy a $500, let's just get what we can.
Spend.
It's no, we're gonna buy. Right we're going to go to the store and we're going to lay down on all the mattresses in the goddamn store and figure out what works for us. And regardless of the price, we're buying it.
And replace your fucking mattress after a few years. It's 1/3 of your life. And in your life, you'll spend, if you were to buy a mattress every 5 years, you will spend less than you spend on one fucking car. Yeah. And the health benefits are huge. I bought a Performa Sleep one. Really? That's the one that the CrossFitters were, and it made a huge difference. It's firmer than we had one of those squishy ass
purples. Did you have purple? No, you didn't have purple.
We had an actual Sealy, with the fucking sheep on it and shit. One of those really supposed to be really good ones. I hated it, and I was like, I want something that. When you exercise all the time, you're so sore, and if you sleep in a soft bed, you get more sore. So the Perform Sleep, at first it was like, oh shit, this is hard, this isn't going to be good. Dude, it's great. It's fucking great. And those mattresses are cheap, and they deliver them to your house.
Yeah.
Like that one, I think it was, I want to say $900 for a king size.
Yeah.
Like you can't beat the price of those for a high end mattress, and that's because they don't have stores where they're wasting all their money on overhead. So sleep is huge. You got to get sleep. The other thing is, it's super easy. Learn about sleep health, meaning things you could do to sleep better. Blocking out your windows, that little fucking light on your fire extinguisher, put a piece of electrical tape over it so you don't see it. Your alarm clock, cover it. Like all that stuff detracts from your ability to get into deep sleep. So fix your sleep.
Yep.
And then stress. I mean, it's hard to avoid stress, especially nowadays when everything is stressful. But you just getting more sleep will actually cut your stress level down, and help you deal with more stress. Another one I hate to say that I came up with right before we were going on is not cut it out, but cut down your caffeine. If you're drinking too much caffeine,
whoa, who is this guy? Who is this guy saying cut down the caffeine?
Well, here's the thing: switch to mud water.
Oh.
Mud water is great. It's got cacao, lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, cinnamon, turmeric, and Himalayan sea salt. It's fantastic. No, but for real, actually, another thing on like for immune health is like cordyceps and lion's mane mushrooms. Those are really good for your immune system. So this will help more than caffeine will. And like me, I had 2 of these today. I had 1 coffee. I'm going to try to keep it at 1 coffee. I'll probably drink a couple more of these. So that's one. And then the last thing, the biggest thing, the fucking all-time biggest thing, eat fucking proper, assholes. Avoid sugar and processed foods. I don't know how many times we have to say this.
Don't drink your calories.
Don't drink your calories. Stop. Cut down your alcohol consumption. Here's the thing, guys. When you go drinking, you then have what's called a hangover. A hangover means you are sick.
Dehydrated as fuck.
You are sick for 1 to 3 days after you drink. So do not put yourself in that. You are now immunocompromised. You now gave yourself a pre-existing
morbidity. Now you're going to have COVID and you're going to die.
If you come in contact with COVID during your hangover, and possibly, I don't even know, probably not when you're drunk, but you are going to be much more susceptible to any virus, right? And it's going to have a good couple days to run wild while your body's trying to deal with the poison that you pumped into it. So that's a big one. Smoking, obviously. If you still smoke, I don't understand you. You're fucking retarded. It's like $9 a pack. I mean, not
even for the health, but
I guess you're rich.
Defects, but like,
congratulations.
Who has the money for that shit?
For real, it's retarded. You know? Smoking is so. I see people smoking. I'm like, man, you look like a moron. Like, oh, I got to go outside for 15 minutes and suck on a fucking stick. Like, it's just dumb. Doesn't make sense. And no one thinks smoking is good for you at this point. No. So, and there's plenty of things to get you to quit smoking. Just go ahead and quit smoking. Like go spend a couple $100 on some sort of fucking, even more. Who knows? Whatever it takes, spend the money. You're gonna save it. In months, you're gonna save that money of whatever it costs you to quit smoking. Go do it. Get hypnotized, right? But anyway, food's number 1. Avoid sugar, processed foods. Do a balanced diet if you don't know, if you have no idea like what diets are.
Eat meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar.
You start with a 40% carbohydrate, 30% protein, 30% fat. This is not an impossible diet. That's super easy. No. That's typical. And then you adjust up and down from there. And
talk to somebody.
And here's the thing: if you're overweight, eat a calorie deficit of like 200 to 400 calories a week, and over time you will lose weight. And you won't be starving at like a deficit of 200 to 400. To somebody. It's sustainable.
If you don't know what you're doing with your diet, and you don't know what you're doing with your exercise, talk to somebody. You can talk to us right here. Put it in the comments.
That's right. Watch YouTube. Listen, that's why I wanted to tell people, like, here's the easy thing to do. It's just avoid sugar and avoid shitty food, processed food. If it comes in if it comes in a fucking box and it says Orida on it, don't fucking eat it.
Stop eating frozen. Who eats frozen dinners? I was walking through the store the other day.
They don't know that it's food.
And I was walking. I had to go get brunch food because we do brunch at the station every weekend. And I was going to get the food, and I walked down the freezer aisle, and I saw a whole bunch of TV dinners, and I was like,
Yeah.
these are still a thing?
Of course.
Like, what the...
Prepared. There's more prepared food in the grocery store than non-prepared food.
Yeah.
So, I mean, cereal. Don't eat fucking cereal. Cereal is a prepared food. Like, I mean, do you think it's fucking good for you? It's pure sugar. That's it. And I don't care if there's no added sugar. If it's just fucking
cornflakes.
Plain cornflakes is just plain carbohydrate, which is going to be turned. Your body doesn't know the fucking difference between a carbohydrate and a sugar. It all gets broken down.
Don't know that.
Yeah, all gets broken down into sugar and used as sugar. So stop that shit. And if you have any questions on that, you can easily ask us. We will send you our diet information from the gym, or you could click on your little YouTube thing there and write how to have a healthy diet without sugar. Just put that, without sugar, right? Yeah. And spend fucking, like we said, 5 minutes a day. Before we said that, I think on a different podcast. Spend 5 minutes a day to learn, to watch a YouTube video on diet. It could be an hour-long video. Break it up into 5 minutes a day. By the time you get to the end of that video, you will know more than most people on diet. Listen to 20 of set episodes like that, or podcasts. You will know more than most diet experts. Right? So give that a try, and then you will have a lot less hard time not eating like a jackass.
Yeah.
Don't eat like a jackass.
All right, so
that's it. That's all.
In summary, right? We got three keys to. Oh, there's your title. 3 keys.
Exercise.
3 keys to fixing the COVID problem. Right, getting outside and exercising. Somehow we got to mandate that. Get people outside. Get them exercising. Get them vitamin D. Right.
Cut down exposure.
In addition to that good diet, right? But mostly we want to get people to exercise and move. Yep. Then the second one is cut down exposure through limitation of tourism and a better understanding of where our case counts are coming from, and not fucking blaming local people solely, because it's not just our fault. And then third, bridging the divide. Trying to figure out a way to bridge the gap between the two sides of our society right now.
Yep.
And if we can somehow accomplish the first 2, I think it'll help accomplish the third one. And if we can accomplish all 3, then I think we fix COVID. Like, I think that's how. And if you could
accomplish all 3 of those, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the simple way.
And I think you're right. If you accomplish 2 of them, the dominoes fall for the third.
I think specifically the third. You got to accomplish 1 and 2, because what's going to happen is
you could get rid of the other 2, and people still going to not go outside and eat like shit.
Right. So
that one's super important.
We get people to get healthy, then they realize that there's more than one way to fight this virus. Then we get people to realize that it's not just our fault, and that we can sustain ourselves as a community, and then that dominoes into bridging together as a community, and bridging this gap, right?
Yeah.
And then the last point, like, I swear to God, if vaccine passports become a thing, I'm out. I'm moving to Texas. I swear to God.
Yeah, Subiono's in Texas. Get ready.
Fuck. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.